Hello and welcome to Garage Football. We're going to preview tonight's FA Cup final between Chelsea and Manchester United. Ryan, it's one of the biggest days in English football. Two teams not quite in great form, but still, it's the final. What do you reckon is going to happen?
I think you're right, they're not in great form. I think it's going to be a bit of a boring game, to be honest. I could be wrong. They might suddenly pull something out the bag.
You never know in finals, do you?
No, it's all on the day.
Yeah.
But I think this is the pinnacle of the Conte-Mourinho war.
Yeah, not exactly best friends, are they?
No, although reports are saying that they've kind of made up. I think that's all just for the telly, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm sure there's respect there, but they both want to win this. And let's be honest, Conte looks like it's his last game. I think he's going to go after this. I think it's pretty much the writing's on the wall. So he wants to end this with a trophy. But records, if you like, Mourinho kind of has the edge at the moment. I think he's had 14 domestic cup finals over the last few years, as opposed to Conte 2.
Yeah.
Mourinho's won 12.
And Conte 0. I mean, technically Conte's won a couple of Italian Super Cups, but they're just one-off games in terms of pure knockout competition. He hasn't won any, has he? So that's something he needs to put right, definitely.
Absolutely, but that'll be interesting. I can't see there being loads of goals. I think Mourinho's going to be Mourinho and play very defensive. I think Chelsea will attack a little bit, but we'll see. You know, I'm looking forward to tonight from that perspective, because a cup final is a cup final. But my money's on Chelsea at the moment. I think they can do it.
Yeah, you just never know, do you? These two teams, their form's a bit iffy, shall we say. I mean, Man United, they lost away at Brighton, didn't they? Drew 0-0 away at West Ham, where they didn't muster many chances, and then on the last day they beat Watford 1-0 at Old Trafford. Whereas Chelsea, they drew at home to Huddersfield, who got a deserved point, and then they lost 3-0 away at Newcastle. Absolutely shocking performance. So it's not exactly the momentum you want going into a big final, is it? So you just never know, especially with Chelsea, where I think since January their season just completely fell apart, hasn't it? I mean, Conte's blaming the board, and the players haven't basically stopped playing for him. You'd say, look, as you say, he looks like he's going to leave it after this game. So they're more unpredictable than Man United.
I must say, I think it's absolutely ridiculous though if he does go. I'm not saying he'd want to leave, but we all know what Chelsea are like with managers.
Yeah.
Let's be honest, he won the league last year, and he's got them in the FA Cup final. Okay, it's a poor league form. He's got them outside the top 4, but it was a year ago he won the league.
I know, but that's
Chelsea.
That's Chelsea. That's how they operate.
But it just and even Mourinho. There's talks about would this be his last game? I know the fans. It's kind of sort of there's a divide there.
Yeah.
But come on, it's Jose Mourinho. He's won. Since Fergie's gone, he's been the most successful manager, isn't he? He's won trophies. 3 trophies last year, if you can't count the Community Shield.
Bloody Community Shield. That don't count. It's a one-off game, it don't count.
It's a treble. But, I still think he's got something to give. I don't see United winning the league for a couple of seasons, but I think managers still need time. Now, Arsene Wenger, 22 years, Fergie, 26 years, you're never going to see that again. And maybe it's kind of right that you don't see that again. But managers going after a season, 2 seasons, 4 seasons, come on. Of their calibre as well. They're not exactly like they're not like David Moyes, are they? No. And I'm not putting David Moyes down. I think he's, like you said in one of the last videos, him taking the Man United job scarred him, going forward. But I actually think he's a good manager. But Jose Mourinho and Conte, they're different gravy. They're completely different.
Top drawer, aren't they? So it's a shame how it's worked out for Conte, but I don't think he's helped himself, Ryan, because he's been blaming the board for the transfers and they've brought the wrong players in. But like these players have come in, but has he got the best out of them? Like Bakayoko's been terrible. Barkley's hardly played. Drinkwater's hardly played. Morata's been hit and miss. Drew's done okay, but he's only just arrived, hasn't he? So, yes, Rudiger's probably, he's probably been the best signing, I'd say. But yeah, very hit and miss, and he's just not been the same, has he, since last season, where he's very animated and working his players to the very end, and even it's just demeanour. Like they concede a goal, he's not bothered, is he, anymore? So
you can't.
Because I think he knows he's going, doesn't he?
That's it. You don't really know what goes on behind the scenes, do you? So from their perspective, he, like you say, he probably knows what's coming along. So he's kind of just biding his time. But it'd be nice for him to win the trophy. And selfishly, for myself, being a Gooner, I want Chelsea to do it, because if Man United win, they level Arsenal's record.
Yeah.
Arsenal have got the record at 13 FA Cup wins, Man United at 12. So, and in terms of key players...
Oh, you got your blue shirt on already, I like it.
I'm not a blue, people. I am tonight. Temporarily. But ultimately, I think Fabregas, in terms of key players, you've got Kante, he holds the squad together, in my opinion, for Chelsea. I know you've got Hazard, etc. But Fabregas, he's kind of like a subtle gem for them. He doesn't always get the consistent games, but he's going to want to win this. And I think he is still a subtle gooner, and he knows the record, and he wants to win on that basis.
Of course he does.
Absolutely. So, but who's your kind of sort of key players?
Well, for Man United, I'd probably say Lingard and Alexis Sanchez, I'd say, because they've both got good records at Wembley. Sanchez scored in the semi-final win against Spurs, where they come from behind and played really well, especially in the second half, where they absolutely dominated the game, didn't let Spurs back into it, and he scored in the cup final last season, 2017 against Chelsea. So he's got previous there, and Jesse Lingard as well. He scored in the final against Crystal Palace, and in 2017 he scored in the Carabao Cup final against Southampton. So both got previous. And I think Paul Pogba's due to play well in a big game. Like he did well against Spurs in the semi-final, and when in the league against Man City in the second half, he was instrumental getting 2 goals. So they're capable, and if Sanchez and Pogba play to near their best, then you'd fancy Man United to get a result. But the way they're both playing, you don't know, do you?
No.
So I think they're both key. And what you mentioned about Conte under pressure, Mourinho under pressure, but this is a big game for Jose as well, because albeit they finished second in the league, but it was a distant second, wasn't it? 19 points behind.
Points, yeah.
You kind of think, does that really count? It's not really a challenge, is it?
That's the thing. People say, is the FA Cup important anymore? Okay, let's be honest, it doesn't quite have the status that it used to have. But, in my opinion, it's still, apart from the Premiership, it's the greatest trophy you can win. Especially in terms of the UK, it's the best domestic trophy. Yeah. It's a tournament. It's a big. The league. Everyone wants to win the league. That's the big one. But ultimately, there's something special about winning the final day.
Yeah.
And going back to the point, really, is people turn around and say Man United finished second and Chelsea fifth. Well, the argument is Man United have had the successful season, and technically in terms of the league, but. What would you remember as a fan, as a football fan? Let's be honest.
What trophies you've won?
Exactly.
Who's going to remember finishing third or second even?
No.
You want to go to Wembley or go to the big stadiums and see your team win and see the captain lift the trophy at the end, rather than bagging the Champions League money all the time.
That's it.
So I've never understood this question of would you prefer top 4 or trophy? Trophy every time.
Absolutely.
Absolutely ridiculous question.
I get it from a business perspective. Top 4 is going to make more revenue for the club. And some point I can see, it's inspiring because you can buy some more players on the back of it. But it doesn't always go like that, does it? It's a business at the end of the day, and you want the clubs to do well. But from a fan's perspective, you want to see
Fans
trophies.
care about trophies rather than how much money you've got on the bank sheet.
Like you say, in 10 years' time, you're going to look back and go, I remember 2018 when we finished second.
Yeah.
Or third.
It's not, are you?
No. Don't get me wrong, if Chelsea finished fifth with no trophy, then
It's a poor season.
That's a
isn't
poor
it?
season. But
I think good point. Yeah, so Man United finish second, and then they're in the final. And if they win, yeah, you could say
great season.
Good season. You know, a bit of progress. You know, finished sixth in the league last season. They won 2 trophies. Finished second, get the FA Cup. Good, you'd say. However, if they lose, they haven't really got much to fall back on. They finished second, as I say, a distant second, and the Champions League they were, well, embarrassingly knocked out by Sevilla, weren't they, in the last 16? So they haven't even got that to fall back on.
But I don't know. I think a lot of the United fans are just deluded at the moment. I do get it to a point. They're used to the Fergie years. I get that, and no one can beat the treble 99 seasons, the class of 92.
Yeah.
You know, the back-to-back Premier League trophies, everything.
Yeah. 2008 double.
United just were, that they were the champions all the time. They were monsters.
Yeah.
And I was always scared to face them. Whenever my team played United, I was like, oh, Christ.
Not today.
But now, since Fergie went, obviously we know what happened with Moyes. Wasn't a great season. Finished 7th. From United winning the league to them finishing 7th. Not good at all.
No.
And I did think, it was a shame with Moyes. He could have had a bit more time, maybe one more season to rectify it. But he wasn't the right calibre for the club, really. And then, Van Gaal came in, and again, they started to pick up, but wasn't really threatening in the league. But he managed to win the FA Cup, so a bit of progress.
Yeah.
But still, weren't looking like a strong team. And then Mourinho's come in. Okay, the Community Shield, but he won the League Cup and the Europa League, which got him in the Champions League. And now they've gone from 7th, to eventually coming to 2nd. Now, I think that's a successful season. I think that's progress. I think that's incredible at the moment. If you're clinging on to the Fergie days, of course it's not success.
No.
But you've got to put things in perspective, people. You're not going to get Alex Ferguson back. He's gone. That era's gone. It's a new team now. And United have been knocked back. And he's literally given it some new blood. I do appreciate, some people are saying it's kind of boring football. Yeah. But I'll take boring football if it gives you points.
Well, he's getting the trophies in the bag, isn't he?
Yeah.
I think he's... Probably Mourinho's under more pressure because it looks like he's going to... Well, you'd like to think he'll stay on after this final, but if he don't win, trophyless season, distant second, I think he'll be a bit under pressure at the start of next season. But whereas Conte, he's out the door, isn't he? Pretty much.
I think that's pretty much set.
So I think Man United will sneak a win. I'm not expecting an amazing game. I think it could even be similar to the 2007 final between these two sides when it was a boring game.
As opposed to the 94 final.
First final at the new Wembley, 0-0 at full time, then Drogba scored an extra time to give Chelsea the trophy 1-0. It wouldn't surprise me if something similar happens tonight. But I think Man United will win 2-1. Jose knows how to get it done in finals, and I think his big players will step up for him and get them over the line. I'm not expecting pretty football or an amazing game, but I think they'll get the job done.
I think you're right. I think United are the favourites, but sometimes being the underdogs can work in your favour. I'd like Chelsea to win, and if they win, I think it's 2-1 to Chelsea.
Yeah.
Or 1-0 either side. But I can't see there being more goals than that.
Yeah.
I could be completely wrong, but I'm going to go 1-0 or 2-1 Chelsea. But yeah, United are technically the favourites, so it's all on the day.
We'll see what happens.
Indeed, tonight.
That's a good one.
So yeah, thanks again for watching this video. Please make sure you subscribe and leave us a little comment.